What's up, YouTube? This is PaperCan, and you're watching episode 0 of my Dwarf Fortress tutorial. Now, you may have heard a lot about this game already. Probably heard things like there's no graphics, and it has a very steep learning curve, and it's really complicated, but I'm here to kind of clear up some of those misconceptions about the game. It's not really too hard to get into, but you definitely need something to give you a head start, something to kind of give you a heads up on what's going on and how to get into it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is you definitely want to go and open your internet browser and head on over to Pandora, and you should probably load up some music. I highly recommend the Approaching Nirvana radio station, but if you're a loser, you can just load up whatever kind of music you want, but it definitely helps to have some jams going on in the background. Not that the in-game music is terrible, but it leaves a little bit to be desired. Second thing we're going to want to do is get on your favorite search engine, Google or Bing, and search for the Lazy Noob Pack, which I have open right here. Lazy NEWB Pack. And what that is, it's a collection of utilities that's going to make some of the more cumbersome and tedious controls in the game a little more accessible to us, and because we are lazy noobs, actually. So go ahead and get that. It includes a copy of Dwarf Fortress, so you don't have to worry about that either. You can just hit this Play Dwarf Fortress button down here, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. First thing we're going to do, though, is I'm going to head over to the Graphics tab here. I'm going to select the Iron Hand Graphics Pack, because the ASCII graphics that are the default in the game will probably make your eyes bleed after a couple hours. I think the Iron Hand is really nice looking, and I'm going to stick with that. So you hit Install Graphics. Are you sure? Your graphics settings and RAWs will be changed. I think I'm okay with that. And then it just tells you that it is successful. And I'm going to hit yes. Save games updated. Alright, super. So let's hit the Play Dwarf Fortress button here and get started. I know you're taken away by the main screen here. Big black screen with text. Wow. Especially if you just finished playing Skyrim. This is probably really impressing you right here. But don't judge a book by its cover. This is a very complex game. It's very fun. First thing you gotta do is create a new world. You can scroll through these menu options with the arrow keys. So let's hit enter on Create New World. First lesson of my Dwarf Fortress tutorial is going to be read tooltips, though, because maybe a lot of people feeling lost and confused. Just read the tooltips on the bottom here. It says press enter to select an option, 8293 to scroll. However, you can use the arrow keys, which I'm using. It comes a little bit more naturally to me. Press escape at any time for options including key bindings, and question at any time for the manual. Hey, question mark right here. Here's the in-game manual. And it does cover quite a bit of topics in there. But at the top it says here, losing is fun. Now, why the hell would they tell me that losing is fun? Well, in this game, losing is kind of fun, because you never really know what's going to happen in Dwarf Fortress. The kind of problems that you're going to face, sometimes you never really can see them coming. There's no definite victory conditions for the game either, so you're never going to hit a game over, you win screen, because you're never going to win at this game. It just goes on forever, but we're going to have a lot of fun until we lose. Now, you might be feeling kind of weird right now because you're trying to use your arrow keys to scroll through these menus. They also use another convention in this game. It is the plus and minus keys. So we're going to go through this menu with plus and minus. So you can rest assured that if arrow keys are not working for you up and down, left and right, then it's probably going to be the plus and minus keys on your number pad. I'm going to hit escape right here. Back to the main menu. Let's go to create new world. Now, here's a disclaimer. The game is always in a perpetual state of alpha, which sounds kind of scary, but it's actually very cool. They are always coming up with improvements for the game. It is still in development, which I think is excellent. It's not open source, but it is free, and I just think it's pretty amazing because it's sort of like a Mark Preston story with Minecraft. It's like a one guy working on this game, sort of rags to riches game programming story, which I think is excellent. Hit escape to continue. Here are all the options that we have for creating a new world. We're going to leave everything on the defaults. And remember lesson 1, read the tool tips. If you want to customize your world, then you got a description of basically what all these different options are going to do down here. Like, for example, world size, the default is medium. It says it controls the size of the world map. The current is 129 by 129. The history, this is the length of pre-generated history. The current default is 250 years. So I'm just going to leave all these as is. If you're interested, you can just read what they do and change as you like. And on the bottom, escape to abort and Y to go. And that's what I want to do. It's probably Y for allons-y. So allons-y. And look at this. What the hell is this? Now this is your world that's being generated before your very eyes, which is a pretty amazing feature of the game. It is generating a world from scratch that we're going to play in, complete with its own civilizations, gods, historical figures, legends, epic battles, all kind of things, all from scratch. So it has made the land masses, has simulated the temperatures in different regions and how that's affected the vegetation, ran some rivers, simulated some erosion, imported wildlife civilizations. Right now it says we're on year 99. It's basically generating a history for us right now. It's the third age of legends, and now it's the fourth age of myth. And it's just going to continue up to 250, which was the default in the history option that we were on the menu before this. It says historical figs, 23,267 going. These are historical figures. It's keeping track of all the heroes, all the great villains that have been born and done great deeds and left legends behind. It keeps a record of all these things. All the artifacts that have been created in the world, all the historical figures, all the epic battles. It's going to keep a log of all those things, which is also pretty amazing. I don't know if you've ever tried to write a piece of fiction or play some D&D. I think you could really appreciate the fact that it is creating a world from scratch for us to simply play this game in. A living, breathing world with its own characters and quirks. Just gonna let it go up to 250, and then we'll be ready to choose an embark site for our first fortress. You might be kind of taken aback right now because there's a million little icons that don't make any sense, but they will make sense in a little bit. And half of the fun of the game is sort of the mystery of it. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy the fact that it just drops you in here, you have no idea what the hell's going on, and you have to figure out what's going on. And I think that really contributes to the fun of the game, is just having to discover and learn new things. How I discovered this game was I actually used to play Minecraft. I had a great time playing Minecraft, but eventually I got kind of old, got kind of stale. It's not a very challenging game, if you've ever played it, but for anyone who's played Minecraft, they have the description of the game. They basically state that they got a lot of inspiration from Dwarf Fortress, and the more you play Dwarf Fortress, the more you will see its influence in Minecraft. Like we can already see some of the influence. Has generated a world for us from scratch. Has biomes and all kind of random events. So I mean, it's basically the same exact deal. It's finished generating our world for us right now. So what are we gonna do? On the very bottom it says enter or escape to pause or finish. Now we could have paused it when it was going through the history. Oh, I messed up. It's not done generating. We're on year 233. But like I was saying, we can hit escape to pause, and we can just sort of stop the world generation there and at any time and just start playing from there. I'm just gonna go ahead and let it finish up. It's only got a couple more years. Even though it's a bunch of tiles and may not know what all of them mean, some of them are kind of self-evident. Like look at all these little green things are like trees, little triangles, obviously mountains. Okay, now we're done. And you can see on the upper left, it has made a name for the world. It's the Portentous World of Souls, which is pretty intense. I like that. Can you imagine that being the name of your world? So instead of Earth, we have the Portentous World of Souls. Okay, sounds good. So now that it's done, we can actually scroll around on the map with our arrow keys. And if you hover over things, different land masses, it tells you a little bit about it. Like, for example, I'm going to hover over this mountain here. This is the continents of indignation. It says on the very top here. It's the tooth of tiredness. And like, look at the amount of detail that's gone into the world generation here. I mean, it's named every region. It's given it a distinct and good name. We hover over this little statue-looking thing right here. This is the dwarven mountain halls of Budum Konos. So this is like a dwarven civilization. This is their city right here in the middle of the mountains. So that makes sense. These little purple things, generally want to stay away from them when we're gonna choose our embark site to begin with. Purple is a designation for an evil place. So if we're looking for a little fun, you could choose to embark next to an evil location, and then you might have to deal with things like goblin raids and necromancers raising the dead and whatnot. But I don't think we're really going to do that for our first tutorial here. We're going to kind of keep it simple. But like I said, take some time, go through, kind of like see, admire the detail that's been put into the world. This is the continent of indignation. This is the lovely field right here. And this is the human fortress of agonism, which agonism. All right, these are what looks to be roads here. So anyway, let's go ahead. Lesson 1 on the bottom. Read the tooltips. Enter is to accept. A is to abort. So let's hit enter, because this seems like a cool world. It's going to offload, offloading units, saving world, and what always happens here is when this reaches the end, it's going to hang for a little bit. It's going to look like the program is not responding, but it'll be fine. Just let it run for a little bit, and it'll come around. And this is what I was talking about. It's going to hang. Probably going to say not responding, but it is. They're just trying to just adds another level of complexity to the game. You never know if it's really working or not. Okay, there we go. So now we're back to the main menu, and we have another option, which is start playing, and that's what we want to do. We want to start playing, but first we have to select one of these options. We have Dwarf Fortress, which is basically the bulk of the game. It's what we're going to be doing, where we create our fortress with our dwarves and be the best dwarf civilization that ever existed. There's also adventurer mode, which is sort of a single player RPG almost, where you go through the same world as a just one character. And what's very cool is that you could actually make a Dwarf Fortress in Dwarf Fortress mode. And then you could, after you're done with that, you could play adventure and you could go and find your Dwarf Fortress in the same world that you made previously and explore it. You can only do one at a time though. So we're actually going to check out the legends for a second because we're not going to have access to it once we start our game. I'm going to hit enter here. And this is all the things that I was talking about earlier. It's the all the legends and all the historical characters that the game has randomly generated for us, and this is really fascinating to me that they included all this in the game. So let's go to historical figures. Let's hit enter and look at all these historical people that the game has randomly generated for us. Forgotten beasts, hydras. Okay, let's just go to the first one. Esmox Dudismo Angagromabra. The Golden Bristle of Bruise. This is a male hydra. Let's hit enter. Esmox Will Waste, the Golden Bristle of Bruise, was a hydra. He was one of the only ones of his kind. Xmox was associated with strength, rebirth, and muck. And look at all this. It goes through the life of this hydra, and basically it looks like he just attacks and devours things. But the important thing is, it generated all this history on this one guy. Now let's hit escape, and it generated a similar history for every single one of these historical figures. Like, seriously? Yes, seriously. Okay, now we're back. Start playing. Dwarf Fortress. Let's hit enter. Alright, and here is where we're going to choose where to embark. I'm going to leave this episode for the next one. So in episode 1, we are going to choose our embark site. Main goal of this one was just to kind of get you pumped, get your feet wet. So I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.